Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday morning. How's it going, everybody? Ooh, do we have a few articles to go through? Let me just make sure we got everything here. Okay. Let me just make sure we got the background music going. All right. First and foremost, I do want to give a quick thank you to Zimbu the Monkey for the offline follow. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hope everyone has their coffee. Oh, I see. I made a huge mistake yesterday. Wizard, actually suggested a poll. And I was reading it as if it was a comment. Well, I apologize, Wiz. Let me make sure we have all of the, channel point rewards taken care of. Okay, so I know we did this. I know we did this. I know we did 10 dabs yesterday, that's for sure. That's for sure. Hey Wing, how's it going? Fun fact, Neanderthals took great care of their sick and disabled. Interesting. Well, I mean, like, there was a lot of like civilizations throughout history who like valued, well, it's more like they didn't really have, they understood the value of like taking care of each other because like that was crucial to their survival, right? If I understand it correctly. Fun fact, so do crows. Crows are incredibly intelligent. Hey, how's it going, Memias? Crows are unbelievably intelligent. They can solve puzzles. They can remember faces. Crows are incredibly intelligent. Neanderthals also worshipped bears as gods. Interesting. Howdy, howdy. How's it going, Darknut? Bears are indeed gods. I can confirm. Yeah, crows are incredibly intelligent. They're about as intelligent as like a small child, I think. They're like between crows, octopus, and what was that other animal? Dolphins? No. I mean, dolphins are smart, but crows, octopus, and there's another one. They're incredibly intelligent and can solve puzzles and everything. I can't remember. I just watched a really sad video that just came out about the wolf and bear hunters in Wisconsin. Yikes. For the most of humankind history, there was at least 6 different types of humans. It wasn't until the last hundred thousands of years only Homo sapiens existed. Yeah, there's different kinds. Yeah, that's true. Buenos dias. How's it going? Buenos dias. Hope you guys grabbed your coffee. Good news, I didn't spill my tea over my bag this morning. Well, that's a start. That's a good start. See? That's how you know it ain't Monday. That's how you know it ain't Monday. Sea puppers can solve puzzles? True, actually. Can everybody go to twitch.tv/surfergogritty? Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hang out. They are an awesome content creator. Alright, I hope everybody's well situated. Grab your coffee or tea. Or tea. Or water. Your favorite beverage. Because we're about to start the news. I would also like to make a now that we have a couple of folks here, I would also like to make a public apology to to Wizard's Bread Book. I'm sorry, I thought that was a comment, but indeed, what Wizard was redeeming was a poll. So if I see Wiz, I will do that poll. I apologize. Alright, so we have quite a few headlines to go through, so I think we should start. Let me just make sure I pulled up everything that I want here. I think there was a Twitter thread regarding... Yeah, this was posted yesterday, so I kind of just want to run this one quickly. Oh yes, we did actually, never mind. So I've been seeing a lot on these, a lot on the headlines that it seems like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has publicly apologized for her comparison to, you know, her reprehensible comparison to the Holocaust and vaccine recommendations, as well as the vaccine passports that were never mandatory. She still maintains the fact that this could become discriminatory. I wasn't aware that it was affecting any protected class, but that's her delusions. That is her delusions. That's irrelevant. The point is, because she was threatened to be censured, she issued a public apology, and yeah, maybe we shouldn't make comparisons to the Holocaust. Just saying. Maybe that isn't the greatest comparison to use, and maybe that kind of gives you an insight to your head too, huh? Just saying. Alright folks, we have a couple of headlines. Let me start bringing that up. This one is, I think we've gone over some of these, but before. But it's still important to bring up. Teflon and forever chemicals, the hidden toxins in your body. This is nothing new. They're everywhere and harmful to our health. Conservatives just getting upset by things they made up once again. Yeah. How's it going, Lazy Pajamas? I like the username. What you're seeing, indeed, is a lazy pajama. It's just a t-shirt and basketball shorts. They're everywhere, harmful to our health, and do not biodegrade, has DW reporter Tim Schaumburg also unknowingly ingested forever chemicals. Well, newsflash, we already have those in our body. It's kind of unavoidable at this point. What do raincoats, pizza boxes, frozen vegetable packaging, non-stick frying pans have in common? They all contain PFAS, known as forever chemicals, and they could be damaging to human health. No kidding. I'd like to again point the finger at DuPont, who has been notoriously downplaying and avoiding taking any responsibility, and then when faced with with any action. They lied about switching the chemical compound that they used, only to, years later realize that they actually didn't do anything about it. They just changed up the compound to pass inspections, even though they had studies shown that their modified PFAS still still had an impact. And they, first of all, they didn't tell the public, and then they lied to authorities. Did you see that it's raining PFAS? What? Now that I did not know. So it's in the rain? Holy yikes. Holy yikes. I don't know if this article is going to go into it, but needless to say, that is a huge problem. I wonder what superpowers we'll get from these. Cancer. That's the superpower. Howdy, howdy. Shut them down and find them every cent of profit and more. Yeah, they should be, they should not be allowed to operate until they can fix the issue. What if it's like that movie with John Travolta? Wait, which one? Where we get like super smart before we die a horrible death? No, I'm good. I'm good. What to rank? Oh yeah, so Roland Weber, an environmental consultant with the UN, describes them as one of the most threatening chemicals ever invented. Some 4,500 human-made substance falls under PFAS designation, and residues from this family of chemicals are now across the globe in soil, drinking water, and even in soil, drinking water, food, animals, and even inside the human body. Do I have PFAS in my body? Yes. The answer is undeniably yes. Yeah, of course, Grolem, I see you. Some 98% of Americans have PFAS in their blood, so chances are, yeah, you do. Studies from India, Indonesia, and the Philippines under wait, where was I? Studies from India, Indonesia, and the Philippines found toxic substances in nearly all breast milk samples tested. Every child in Germany has forever chemicals inside them, and in a fifth of those cases, concentrations exceed critical levels. Yikes. This made me wonder about the levels of forever toxins in my own body. Finding out is not easy, as there are very few specialist labs in Germany able to perform the necessary tests. But I managed to locate one Ipsum in the southern city of Erlangen. I sent them a blood sample. It was analyzed for PFOA and PFOS, best known as forever chemicals, which can cause liver and kidney damage, decrease male fertility, and affect the weight of newborn babies, as well as the effectiveness of vaccines. In high concentrations, they can lead to cancer. New studies have also indicated a link between chemicals and severe cases of COVID-19. Interesting. The lab found 4 nanograms of PFOA and PFOS per liter in my blood. That's around the thousandths of the weight of a grain of sand, and means I'm well below critical levels and in line with German average. Thomas Goen, a professor at IPASUM, who carried out the analysis, told me these concentrations present no risk according to current scientific knowledge, but the results didn't put my mind at ease because substances are persistent and can accumulate in the body. Well, yeah, like they stay here. And that's the main problem, and that in the end they may accumulate in a dose which may be problematic, which may be a problematic concentration. Yeah, it's kind of a problem. I don't want these powers. I'll stick to becoming Magneto from the vaccine shots. They purposely lied. All companies must be for the good of the community. They shouldn't be allowed to exist at all. Yeah, I think that, like, there is... I will not push back on the idea that there should be severe consequences. Especially for their obfuscation and lying to, not only to the public, but to the FDA, I think. Yeah, that's... They should be... there should be heavy consequences for lying. And that's the main problem, and that they may end up and accumulate in a dose which may be a problematic concentration. Forever chemicals are so stable that they don't biodegrade in nature, and the human body excretes them very slowly. Scientists are looking for ways to break them down, but any methods are still in their infancy. Yikes. Humans ingest... Well, yeah, I'm just gonna, do a little quick shortcut. Humans ingest most PFAS in their food. Fish, meat, milk, eggs, and vegetables from contaminated regions can contain particularly high rates of these chemicals. Most sewage treatment plants can't filter out the chemical residue, which then enter the environment through landfills, industrial waste, and washing outdoor clothing. PFAS have been found in remote mountains of Patagonia, snow in Antarctica, the Altai Mountains in Central and East Asia, as well as inside polar bears, birds, and dolphins. Yeah, I mean, like, it just goes to show, like, this, climate change, this climate change crisis isn't just about, like, global warming, but also about, like, the immense domino effects of human pollution that are not only exacerbating climate change, but they're creating all of these health problems and ecological problems too. Why are we not talking about the real problem? Birds are... I already discussed this, Grolem. I already closed this case. Birds are real. I already went over this. Birds are real. I know that because I have a bird. Therefore, they are real. It's just that simple. Purchasing food items containing glass, better for the environment and better for our health. I would imagine. I think that the most, like, well, I would imagine that, given the choice between, like, packaging, like plastic packaging, and glass containers, I would probably choose glass containers, right? Because that has the least possibilities for PFAS, and just better for the environment, and just better overall for the health. I imagine if I had to choose, I would choose glass containers. Plus, you can reuse glass. There you go. Glass has many purposes. Not only can you just reuse them for containers or anything else, but yeah. Well, the reality is, Grolem, I am a CIA plant, so... But now that I've revealed that, this VOD will now be deleted. I always try to buy glass items if they exist on shelf. Yeah, not only that, as Darknet said, you can reuse them. You can reuse it for anything, really. You can use them as storage. If you buy, like, the little glass jars or glass containers, you can use them to package food and use them as food, you know, when you meal prep, you can, like, stash food in that. You can even use them as for other stuff. Yes, I am an eggplant, this is true. Most sewage treatment plants can filter out chemical residue, which then enter the environment through landfills, industrial waste, and by washing out their clothing. Yes, we went over this. Some animals with high PFAS concentrations experience changes in their hormone levels as well as their liver and thyroid function. That's a problem. There has been little research on their impact on ecosystems. In 1938, U.S. chemicals concern DuPont invented PTFE, one of the first PFAS chemicals, as it was able to protect metal from corrosion at incredibly high temperatures. They used it in the first atomic bomb. PTFE soon appeared in households around the globe as a durable coating for frying pans under the brand name Teflon. Huh. Well, that's interesting. It was a huge commercial success, but in 1998, the non-stick brand found itself in a sticky situation when a livestock farmer said his cows grazing near a Teflon production plant in Parksburg, West Virginia were wasting away and dropping dead. Rubber Bilot Environmental... I reused... Yeah. True. Most definitely have so many plastic Chinese food containers. They'll be passed for generations. True. True. Robert Mylott, environmental lawyer, longtime defender of the livestock farmer in his legal battle against DuPont, said his client could see white foaming water coming out of a landfill next to his property. It soon came out that thousands of people in the region had been contaminated with PFAS through sewage from the DuPont factory and leaking landfill waste. Documents show DuPont, unlike state authorities, had known of the dangers for decades, but continued to discharge toxic substance into the environment. And therein lies the problem, right? And therein lies the problem. Studies suggest that high PFAS levels in the area are connected to increased case of kidney and testicular cancer. In 2017, DuPont agreed to pay its victims $671 million in compensation for bodily harm. But like, again, like the problem is this company is still around, and $671 million is a small price to pay for them. It's but a mere drop in the bucket for them. It's just the cost of doing business, right? Like this is this is an unacceptable. This is like the Purdue Pharma case, right, where a company was allowed to effectively perpetuate the opioid crisis and walked away with like what, $4 billion for their troubles. I mean, it's not really consequences, is it? The reason why your non-stick pans don't work anymore is because you ate all the Teflon. Oof. Yeah, this is, I believe, this is company docs from 1970. Past studies made at Haskell Laboratory have indicated that ammonium I'm not even going to try to pretend to pronounce that, which is used in the preparation of Teflon, is highly toxic. Yeah, so they knew. Listen, I grew up with Dexter's Laboratory, okay? So that's how I always pronounce it. And that's just the way it is. Clearly I'm showing my age as a 90s kid because that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. Sorry. Industry gets creative with legal loopholes. Other countries, including the Netherlands, Belgium, and Italy, have seen cases of PFAS contaminating drinking water and the environment. Some of these forever chemicals are now being phased out in EU, USA, and Japan, and the amount detected in population has steadily decreased. In Germany, the average has more than halved since 1990. In response to the crackdown, the chemical industry is manufacturing a new generation of PFAS that differs very little from its predecessors, but doesn't fall from the ban for now. What am I supposed to take from all of this? I'm a bit stumped. It feels impossible to avoid something found in so many things, but which isn't flagged on labels or packaging. For now, I've said goodbye to non-stick pans and I'm considering buying a water filter to get rid of any PFAS in my drinking water. Do water filters, do water filters filter out PFAS? It looks like takeaway and convenience food, which I've never been a fan of. Will slip even further down the menu, so I can keep PFAS laid in disposable packaging, but I'll never be able to turn down a box of frozen spinach, a childhood favorite of mine. On a global level, the pressure to dispense with PFAS is growing. Following a Greenpeace campaign, outdoor clothing manufturer Vald Paromo and Rotalf committed to detoxing their garments. Swedish furniture giant IKEA has also banned the substance, which countries such as Germany, Denmark, and Sweden are now pushing an EU-wide ban on all PFAS by 2030. Yeah, and as Darknet posted, it's at the point where it's even in the rain. This is disturbing. The fact that, again, these companies have known for decades. Like, how are we supposed to, like, and again, I've talked about this before, like, how are we supposed to lay down the groundwork for holding these companies accountable if, like, the worst that they have to do is pay, like, you know, is essentially what would be considered to them a fee, a part of cost of business, and they move on, and that's it, right? I mean, I don't know, like, when is enough? How many people? And that kind of translates to how do we deal with the impact of climate change, right? How are we supposed to have a groundwork for dealing with companies who have known for decades that, you know, their fossil fuels are the ones who are causing climate change, or at least they're the ones who are exacerbating it to the point where we are now looking at, you know, very, very difficult situations. Should we not do anything about it? Laboratory, if we're not emulating Dexter. True. I heard some Sun Chips used to use a biodegradable bag, but had to switch to commercially used packaging due to complaints from consumers that the biodegradable was too loud. Wait. How does one even, like, first of all, how's it going, spread it forward? Second of all, how does that even make sense? What do you mean too loud? I say we make all chip companies and most companies in general need to use biodegradable packaging for biodegradable materials for packaging. I think that that's a good start. That's a good start. If water filtration plants can't do it for you, your water filter isn't. Yeah, that's my question. I don't know. I mean, like, if it makes you feel better, but the reality is I don't know necessarily if these, like, homemade water filters, unless they're like the $3,000 like reverse osmosis like water filters that go under your sink that are like this big. Maybe those will, but ooh. The water filters are also government spy. True. Biodegradable packaging makes more pollution when you consider the manufacturing process. True. Actually, I don't know. But wouldn't it be worse if you just, like, allow things that don't biodegrade just accumulate? I don't know, which has an impact at the grander scale. I guess we would have to, like, figure that one out. Yeah. Because, I mean, there's always a cost. There's always a cost to making stuff, but, like, what I would ask then is, what is the grand scheme? What is the grand picture of, like, either A, allowing, like, the non-biodegradable stuff continue to build and continue to pollute and destroy the environment, or take a little cost up front for products that will, you know, have a more positive impact at the end. I don't know, like, where you would draw that, or if that's even, like, a thing. I'm not sure. Alright, we turn our attention to Vermont. Vermont relaxes COVID-19 restrictions after crossing major vaccine milestone. Congrats to Vermont. Vermont crossed a major vaccine milestone on Monday as more than 80% of the state's eligible population has at least one shot. Well, wait a minute. One shot does not equal they're good, okay? just remember. As of Monday, 444,000 Vermont residents over the age of 12 have received at least one vaccine dose. Vermont Department of Health said. Vermont is the first state to cross this threshold. Oh, nice. Congratulations, according to the CDC. Nice. Governor Phil Scott celebrated the occasion by bringing the Green Mountain State one step closer to its pre-pandemic life. He signed an order to remove mask mandates, social distancing, and capacity limits for indoor places. Yeah, so again, like, I understand, and I think that, in a normal situation where people are logical and rational, I would say that it's fine. However, I kind of don't trust people when it comes to this, and I would say that as a broader policy consideration, in my opinion, I would wait until we have a 70% or more of people fully vaccinated before releasing this restrictions, right? Just saying. Vermont's my birth state. Nice. Oh, wait, hold on. Send to spread it forward, Wing. Oh, wait, hold on. Fake news. This is completely fine. More than 390,000 are fully vaccinated, 70%. They already reached herd immunity. Okay, never mind. Never mind what I just said. Never mind what I just said. This is completely fine. This is 100% fine. Never mind, this is 100% fine. They reached 70%, so that would be an appropriate threshold. This is pretty much how herd immunity is determined, and yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, okay, never mind, fake news. Statement retracted. This is exactly how you should proceed, right? As soon as you get 70%, fully vaxxed, not one dose, but fully vaxxed, I think you can start releasing, like, you can start releasing COVID restrictions. Yeah, I mean, like, I see no problem with this. 77 is the propaganda number. I don't know. I think that, like, a 70% population that is completely vaxxed, not one dose, but completely vaxxed, I would say, I mean, again, this is according to the current narrative, can start releasing COVID restrictions. I think that's a fair assessment. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's about 80%, maybe. I don't know, but I keep hearing the word 70 and above. So, sorry, I keep seeing the number 70% and above. I personally don't see a problem with this policy, right? 70% of the population, the entire state of Vermont, is fully vaccinated, not just one shot, fully vaccinated. So, Vermont Chads, yeah, they did it. They're the first state too. The first state too. Nice. Congratulations, Vermont. You're the first state to make it. Today's my official 14th day after getting my second shot, so I'm technically fully vaxxed. I'm gonna leave North America. Nice. Nice. My second shot is this week, actually. Howdy, sourcing. How's it going? I still have to wait 3 weeks to get my second shot. Okay, so you probably just got your first shot not that long ago. I mean, I got it 2 weeks ago. Gotcha. I think that, like, the maximum you should wait for second shot, I would check the CDC. I'm in Connecticut, and less than 50% of the population in stores. And less than 50% of the people in stores wear masks now. It's weird. I guess it depends. I mean, really, it should be. I mean, just as like as a policy thing, I still stand by the fact that, like, if you have herd immunity, at that point is when you start relaxing the COVID restrictions, right? So, I don't know. As of Monday, the national average for vaccinations among Americans 12 and up is 61%. with at least one dose and 51% with both doses. So we're at 50%. We're almost there. All right, we're almost there, folks. As long as like vaccination rates don't decline, I hope that this is like the trend, and I hope that this is where we're heading, because that means that my prediction still my prediction is still that we won't be rounding this corner until the end of the year, right? Thank you for the follow, Anti-Rack. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Skiddeer. Everyone should wear masks until the vaccine is available to everyone. Children still don't have a choice. True, but I think that like once you have like herd immunity, meaning like whatever equals herd immunity, then you can start relaxing. Oregon is trying to say that we were 70% vaccinated, yet no data to support the governor's outlandish claim. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If this is true, if this is true, and we're heading to that 51% with both doses, or 51% fully vaxxed, then at that point we can start saying, okay, maybe by the end of this year, we're looking just exactly as my original prediction, we might start rounding the corner. Actually rounding the corner of this thing. Who knows? How's it going, Miss Nixa? It's just weird not to wear one. Yeah, I get it. Health experts and the governor credited high vaccination numbers to greatly reducing the number of Vermont coronavirus cases. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, vaccine equals less cases. Yep, true. True. Vermont opened up vaccinations to all eligible residents in April. The 7-day average of new cases has dropped from a peak of 213 to just 8 on June 13th. Nice. Scott encouraged all eligible residents to get their shots if they haven't already. Vermont is following in line with the rest of the nation with declining vaccine demand. The 7-day average for daily new doses administered has shrunk from 8,933 to 31,870. Sorry, 3,187 on June 14th, the data showed. Gotta roll, got a meeting for work. Hey, catch you later. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. If you want to see some dare I say, cringe League of Legends play, if you want to see some cringe League of Legends play, check out Grolem. They usually stream towards the evenings, right after I go. Yeah, cringe. You heard me. I said what I said. They usually stream right as I'm ending work, so go check them out. So go check them out. As support, yes. Thanks, Cupcake. I'm not sure how this pertains to the stories at hand. I did 45k damage with Karma. Nice. Nice. Like, that's just not... Can we not do that? Can we not do that? Come on. Jesus. Ooh. I mean, like, this isn't even pertaining or appropriate. PG-13, guys. Come on. Plus, I'm not sure... I don't know. I had a game with I did 45k damage with Karma. Nice. So... Yeah, no, I'm obviously kidding. I'm obviously kidding. The League of Legends gameplay is pretty good. My husband's job had him get a special ID card and stickers for his bump cap stating that he's fully vaccinated. I'm not necessarily against that. I think that if we want to do our part, I think we need to do everything we can to get or encourage people to get vaccinated. That's just as simple as that. I see no problem with that. Like if my job asked me for the vaccination card, and I mean, I got it right here. His company offered it to all employees and families. Cool. There you go. Vermont is following in line with the rest of the nation, with declining vaccine demand. The 7-day average of new daily doses administered in the state has shrunk from 8,933 to 3,187. 3 Vermont counties, Essex, Orleans, and Caledonia, are the only ones where the rates of eligible residents with one shot are below 70%. According to state data, Essex County is the lowest with 57 on Monday. Anyone who needs help scheduling a free vaccine appointment can log into vaccines.gov. Yeah, do so, folks. Do so. Yeah, 5,000 shot difference. Yep. I mean, like, I hope what that means is that these people are vaccinated, right? So, obviously, the vaccination rate is going to decrease. Not because people are feeling overconfident, but because people are already vaccinated. I'm hoping. Because, I mean, if 70% of all of Vermont is vaccinated, then yeah, there's going to be a massive drop in vaccination rates. So that being said, Novavax, a new vaccine, says its COVID vaccine is 90% effective, plans to submit data to FDA in third quarter. So we got another new contender. Biotech firm Novavax said Monday its COVID-19 vaccine was shown to be safe and 90% effective overall in a phase 3 clinical trial of nearly 30,000 participants across the US and Mexico. Additionally, said 2-dose vaccine found to be 100% effective in preventing moderate and severe disease, 93% effective against some variants. The company said it plans to file for authorization with the FDA in third quarter. The late-stage trial confirms that the NVX COVID, alright, the name of the vaccine, offers an encouraging tolerability and safety profile. Dr. Gregory Glenn, Novavax President of Research and Development, said in a press release. These data show consistent high levels of efficacy and reaffirm the ability of the vaccine to prevent COVID-19 amid ongoing genetic evolution of the virus. The company's share jumped more than 9% in pre-market trading. With an abundance of vaccines already available in the United States, it's possible that the government would donate the Novavax to other countries. Now that is interesting. I think that should be the norm. I think that should be the norm. Like, if we develop all of these massive, like, extra doses or extra vaccines, then we should do everything that we can in our capacity to export this and give this to countries who currently need it. I mean, like, no strings attached. Just trying to end this pandemic. Give it to all the countries who need it. As we continue to get vaccinated here. Any other excess of vaccines or new vaccines that are developed, just give it to the countries who need it. Simple. Novavax CEO Stanley Erck told CNBC the company also expects to see a large market in the US for booster shots. Oh. Huh. Wait a minute. But do you think it'll work that way? I mean, surely it'll be used as a political playground? Maybe. Wait a minute. Novavax CEO Stanley Erck told the CNBC company also expects to see a large market in the US for booster shots. Booster shots? That's because researchers are beginning to see levels of antibodies wane after 6 to 12 months. It's clear we're gonna need one boost, and then maybe on an annual basis or some period. I've also read studies that show that actually the immunity for some of these mRNA vaccines are actually longer than expected. I don't know if that's 100% true, because like I see both saying that immunity wanes after X amount of time, and another study said that immunity was actually higher after the second dose than they originally thought. So I'm not completely sure on that. The company's analysis evaluated 77 confirmed COVID infections among the trial's 29,960 participants. Novavax said 63 of COVID cases. Cases of COVID were observed in the placebo group versus 14 cases observed in the group that received its 2-dose vaccine. That result in estimated vaccine efficacy of 90.4%. But yes, please vaccinate the global south. Yes, anybody that needs it. The vaccine also appears to be well tolerated. According to the company, the most common side effects were fatigue, headache, muscle pain, and pain at the injection site, which usually lasted no more than 2 or 3 days. Yeah, I mean, that's basically the general side effects, generally. All COVID hospitalizations in the trial occurred in the placebo group. Novavax said the vaccine appears to be effective against some variants, including the Alpha variant first identified in UK. About 65% of cases where sequence data was available were variants of concern. If Novavax vaccine is authorized by the FDA, it would follow 3 COVID shots. It would follow 3 COVID shots approved for emergency use in the US from Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. So, yeah, this would be number 4. The new data comes as federal officials say US has more than enough COVID vaccines to finish vaccinating the entire American population. At this point, yeah, we should absolutely export this to countries that need it. As of Sunday, more than 173 million Americans have had at least 1 dose of the COVID vaccine, according to data compiled by the CDC. The Biden administration has already committed to donating at least 20 million doses produced by Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J, as well as 60 million doses of AstraZeneca, which has not been authorized in the US. Earlier this month, the White House announced it was lifting restrictions as part of the Defense Production Act that gave the US priority for vaccines developed by AstraZeneca, Sanofi, and Novavax. Eric said Monday the company's supply of vaccines doses in the US could be directed to COVAX, the WHO-backed immunization program like places in India where the virus is rapidly circulating. Novavax said Monday it remains on track to reach manufacturing capacity of 100 million doses per month by the end of third quarter and 150 million doses per month by the fourth quarter of 2021. Yeah, I mean, like, if the right thing to do is to export this to countries that need it. I mean, it's just simply in everybody's benefit, including ours, right? Just simple as that. It's in everybody's benefit, including ours. So yesterday we went over an article that 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 Darknet posted in regards to how climate change is intertwined with like the necessity to preserve, restore, and protect. Preserve and restore crucial ecosystems, right? Well, climate crisis in Western U.S. is worse in 1,200 years. That's a new record, folks. Well, as the population in Western United States continues to grow, 72% of these states are experiencing a considerably severe drought, including 26% experiencing exceptional drought. NBC News reported the worst drought in the region since 1,200 years ago. As Changing America previously reported, the drought could affect about 2 million California residents, as well as those who depend on the Colorado River and Lake Mead, which serve Nevada, Arizona, specifically Las Vegas and Phoenix, respectively. Now, Utah is being considered as a casualty of the drought, as Governor Spencer Cox asked his constituents to pray for water during a wildfire on Benyon Creek, although it does not look like rain will be in the forecast for some time in this summer. How about doing something about climate change? That would probably be more productive. This year is set to be the worst drought in the West since 1977. Ernst Conant, director of Mid-Pacific Region of Bureau of Reclamation. Before that, the second driest year took place 1,200 years ago. This unfortunate news is Las Vegas was already preparing for a drought of this magnitude for the past 20 years, but its efforts was not good enough. It isn't sneaking up on us. John Ensminger, the general manager of Southern Nevada Water Authority, said since 2002 our population has increased close to 50%, about 750,000 people in the last 19 years or so, and over that time our aggregate depletions from the Colorado River has gone down 23%. Yikes. Thanks for the follow, feline father. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Oh, that's your state? Oh boy, brace. Brace yourself. In Ensminger's assessment, is this a drought or is this just the way hydrology of the Colorado River is going to be? The question is coming up as some wonder if there's a livable future for those on the west coast. The Las Vegas metropolitan area is home to 2.2 million people and more than 4 inches of rain is required to be a good year. Jesus Christ. Lake Mead is the about 90% source of Las Vegas water with the reservoir on the Colorado River. The heat wave also presents a challenge from people dependent on the electric grid, as some utilities are expected to black out this summer. This can also have an effect on food. Fewer crops mean less produce, like vegetables and meat. Yep. I mean, haven't we talked about this, you know, in multiple occasions where it's not just like, the problem isn't just the planet or the climate heating up, right? When you have such an impact where it makes it harder and eventually impossible to grow, you know, important stuff like food, that may or may not present a problem, don't you think? Well, if it isn't a pog-ass fucking day, my boss is leaving. Now guess who's gonna work out at the gym for at least an hour on company time? Nice. I mean, I mean, you're going to be working, yes? Nice, Circo. We definitely need to adopt foliage that is natural desert. Well, we need to do a lot of things, feline father. I moved out of Nevada a few years ago. Can't say I regret it. Meanwhile, Texas, it's so hot we lose power. Also, a blizzard could knock out the power too. But, you know. Thoughts and prayers, I suppose, will fix it. Yeah, this is the concern, right? Part of the concern if we don't address, like, climate change or the way this is going, it's gonna be incredibly difficult to grow food. That's the, it's kind of a problem. It's just a tiny bit. It turns out, and this may be shocking, but it turns out we need food. And if we can't grow food, well, must be the windmills freezing again. True. I mean, I'm glad I'm in Europe. I don't have to worry about blizzards or tornadoes. No, you've got other worries. Don't worry. You've got other worries to deal with. They're saying we need to burn more coal to burn off the heat. The what? Wait, the what? That doesn't make any sense. Spread it forward. I will say we are moving in a solid direction from our AG banning no-knock warrants. To our majority female legislature. I mean, like, yeah, but sure, that's not bad. That's not bad. I don't know, like, what exactly, like, in regards to, like, climate change or any severe, like, core problems, I feel like we're not really moving in much of a... I mean, like, again, that's not necessarily bad. You know, banning no-knock warrants, these things are good. Majority female legislature, if they're passing legislation that benefits people, it really doesn't matter. More power to them, and that's even awesome. That's super awesome. Our grid is ran by Goldilocks and need to be just right outside. Oh no. Like what at the moment? Isn't there like a problem with the water levels, with the sea level? I guess it depends on your on where you are in Europe, but there's like also issues with water levels, with sea level rises. It's hard to do anything legislatively in Nevada. Our legislator meets only once every 2 years. Yikes. Oh, that's kind of messed up. How does that even how does that even function? How do you only meet once every 2 years? Wait. That's so... What? That makes absolutely no sense. Most of Nevada's legislation is owned by the casinos. Our constitution is fucked. I mean, then how? How is it possible that you have like paid representatives just hanging out and not doing anything except for every 2 years. Like, how are you supposed to like get anything done? And by then you're like 2 years behind. This is like, this doesn't make any sense to me. When they wrote it, they didn't think anybody would live there. Yikes. I think it mostly affects Western Europe. I'm chilling in the East for now. I mean, like, climate change affects us all in one way or another. I think climate change affects us all in one way or another. Give it time. Yeah, fewer crops means less produce like vegetables and meat. It's animal agriculture in particular that requires the vast majority of water. True, and it also produces greenhouse gases. TLDR, this is a problem, and we'll continue to talk about it. I mean, like, this is... I can't understand how people can't kind of, like, rally together around this. I mean... this is food. This is water we're talking about, right? This is literal food and water that we're talking about for people. In other words, the very things that we need to live. Just putting that out there. It may be in our interest to address climate change, right? Considering how things can go. Nevada then sells its land to Amazon, Tesla, and Walmart. Ooh. Yeah, considering that, like, the ramifications of climate change include, like, lack of food, lack of water, it may be in our interest to address this, right? It may be in our interest to pay attention to this. I'm just saying, okay? That is true. Climate change will be a problem as long as private corporations have as much power as they do now. True. Hey Memo, Grand Junction might reach 107 degrees today. Yikes. Yikes. I just want to re-emphasize, especially after going that article yesterday. It is clear that the necessity to address this is more urgent the more we study it. The more we study climate change and how we're impacting the environment and what domino effects come from the environment, the more we realize, like, how bad and how we need to kind of, like, address this, right? How bad we're screwed and how quickly we need to address this. The distrust of scientific expertise is unfortunate at all-time high, following Fauci and Freedom of Information Act. Yeah, but, like, that was, like, necessarily, like, a huge quite honestly nothing burger, to be honest. I mean, like, look, did Fauci could Fauci have communicated things better? Could he have, like, come out the bat with better means of, like, telling people what to do? Sure, but for the most part, I think, like, the scientific, like, consensus of how, like, data and just analysis of, like, COVID have been, like, pretty good. It definitely wasn't. Oh yeah, but that doesn't mean people aren't being hyperbolic. Yeah, and that's the problem. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Is an understatement when considering the possible fall of life on Earth as we know it. Yeah, it'll be a huge, it'll be catastrophic in the sense that, like, we'll see massive, like, if you thought that the extinction of species was bad, we'll see massive extinctions across the board. We'll see depleted, destroyed oceans, even more so, to the point where it's gone. That's it. No more fishing. No more, we won't have the capacity to fish. We won't have the same capacity to grow food. We won't have access to water. And once that happens, then, you know what? it starts opening paths. It starts opening paths to conflict for food, water, and the spaces that will be habitable, right? It will start opening pathways for conflict over effectively resources, right? Over food, over water, over ever decreasing habitable land. It's not like we'll be like extinct, but the effects of climate change will be catastrophic, right? Either you don't understand the scientific method or you don't. Doesn't take anyone for... Yeah, that's true, Pepe. We're on track to run out of fish by 2050. Nice. See, like this is people don't understand. You know, it's going to be incredibly catastrophic if we don't kind of turn the ship around as quickly as possible. You know, running out of fish also has like domino effects on the ecosystem in the ocean, and the ocean is incredibly important for climate change. I mean, which will also have domino effects on weather patterns, which will also have domino effects on X, Y. Like, it just... We have to understand the scope of this problem, and it's huge. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that we need to turn the ship around as quickly as possible, as aggressively as possible. Send it to me by DM's feline father. I mean, the way we're heading, it's not good. It's not good. Also, fuck Mitch McConnell. True. Okay. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell signaled on Monday that Republicans, if they win control back of the upper chamber, wouldn't advance a Supreme Court nominee if a vacancy has occurred in 2024. What? Wait. Hold on. For him to say this is basically... For him to say this, so basically the Dems will never get another SCOTUS nomination ever again. Right, like I mean... This is yet again another, like, wake-up call, right? Another, like, I don't know how else and in what other ways I need to demonstrate... in what other ways I need to demonstrate just how much of a meme bipartisanship is at this point, right? I mean... Oh, I can't access this. Hold on. Like, I can't stress enough just how much of a meme bipartisanship is. Yeah, sorry, feline father. It gave me a paywall, and I'm trying to, like, bypass it, but... I hate that climate change is a political issue. Rather than listen to the people who are in the field that spent years of their life to study this topic, we listen to important people in suits. Yeah, true. Only when the Dems control both White House and Senate, hence the growing call for Breyer to retire. Yeah, I see. Can I send you the report the article is based on? Yeah, just do that instead. I apologize, I can't, like, look at it. Okay, signaled that Monday that if Republicans, if they win back control of the upper chamber, they wouldn't advance a Supreme Court nominee if a vacancy occurred in 2024, the year of the presidential election. It is highly unlikely. In fact, no, I don't think either party, if it were different from president, would confirm a Supreme Court nominee in the middle of an election. McConnell was asked if a GOP-controlled Senate would take the same track in 2024 that it did in 2016 when they refused to give Merrick Garland, the former President Obama's final Supreme Court pick, a hearing or a vote on this nomination to fill the vacancy created by the death of Antonin Scalia. Republicans subsequently confirmed Amy Coney Barrett, Trump's third Supreme Court nominee in 2020, locking a 6-3 conservative majority. The move, which sparked howls from Democrats, set a new record of how closely before a presidential election a Senate has confirmed a Supreme Court nominee. McConnell and Republicans have defended their strategy by noting that in 2016 there was a split in which party controlled the Senate and the White House, compared it to 2020 when both were controlled by Republicans. McConnell's office in 2020 also pointed back to examples in 2016 where he talked about how long it had been since a Senate majority of another party had confirmed a Supreme Court vacancy in a presidential year. So, okay. I mean, so what you're saying is you should never have the majority again, is what you're saying. Okay. In recent months, at least 15 state legislatures. I'm just going to read the executive summary. I think this is interesting. In recent months, at least 15 legislatures have passed or are considering measures to limit severely the legal authority of public health agencies to protect the public health from serious illness, injury, and death. Other states may consider such legislation into the future. It is foreseeable that these laws will lead to preventable tragedies. Specifically, this report finds that dissatisfaction and anger at perceived overreaches by governors and public health officials in response to COVID has led to an onslaught of legislative proposals to eliminate or limit the emergency powers and public health authority used by these officials. Public health officials are also being threatened personally. Yikes. The report provides a brief history of public health authority and an overview of the forces seeking to limit public health authority. It offers examples of specific laws that would limit public health authority and key arguments to counter proposed legislation. It is intended as a resource for public health officials, advocates, and policymakers. This is unbelievably infuriating. Had to become cynical and unmotivated to do something. Yeah, I mean, true. This is so frustrating because, like, it makes it out like as if like the scientific community as like some almighty or like almighty authoritarian like overlords or something. Like, wait, no, dudes, like these laws, these recommendations, and these public health decrees or whatever are done for a reason, okay, and are updated according to whatever recent data we have, okay? And yes, I understand that sometimes the ball is dropped, sometimes the way that things are communicated are wrong, okay? But that doesn't mean that we should just completely outright like sweep all of this away. There's a reason for this. Prohibiting, the report provides examples of laws that would prohibit requiring mask in any situation, including cases of active tuberculosis. Yeah, so like just die then, I guess. In North Dakota, a new law would remove the authority of the state health office to require face masks for covering. Yeah, I mean, sure, at this point we might as well start telling like surgeons to stop wearing masks and PPE because whatever, you know, it'll be fine, right? Maybe, is that what it's gonna take? Like people like getting people taking L's when I mean at this point we might as well just do that, right? Like just, hey, I know that you need this incredibly important surgery, but is it okay if I just kind of like take off my PPE? I mean, you know, the risk of infection is kind of low, but I mean, it shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter at all, right? You mind me taking my mask off, my gloves? I mean, why? What is the point of even sterilizing the equipment? I mean, it's the risk is just low, right? I mean, it's okay if I just do this, right? Like, what? This is beyond. This is This is ridiculous. Block the closure of businesses necessary to prevent the spread of disease, allowing for super spreader venues. In Kansas, the new law removes the governor's ability to close business during a public health emergency. Yikes. Yeah, again, this is the equivalent of like, listen, everybody has, everybody's got their freedoms, right? Just like we'll have the freedom to start serving food that may or may not have been cooked at appropriate temperatures. You know what? I mean, like, washing utensils. I know that may be that's an infringement on some people's rights, but I mean, after all, like the risk of infection or whatever, food poisoning, whatever, right? Whatever. This makes no sense. Ban the use of quarantine in Montana. New law prohibits local board of health emergencies. Order from separating those individuals who are not yet ill but reasonably believed to be infected or exposed. Prohibition of quarantine orders undermines the basic infection control and would make it impossible to stop outbreaks of deadly diseases that are spread by individuals who are not yet symptomatic. This is wild. This is wild. Yeah, and you can trace the distress of health professionals to Dr. Fasci Noble Lie, which is a lie in and of itself. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like it's incredibly frustrating. This is where we're at, thanks to like the massive spread of misinformation. Holy yikes! Yeah, relax, guys. Just 2% chance isn't a big deal. Just don't be unlucky, or do whatever. It's your prerogative. Roll the dice, right? Roll the dice. You know what? Why do we even have like health decrees anyways? Why should restaurants be like why should restaurants have to pass like health inspections? Like at this point, like why does that is an infringement on the restaurant owner's right to run their business as they see fit. This is unbelievably frustrating. If you guys want to see the full PDF, I'm doing a YouTube video on it. That is unrealistic to believe. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm bringing that up. If you do the YouTubes, why don't you join the Discord? There's a promo. There's the promo section. If you ever wanna drop YouTube links in there, there's a hashtag promo channel. You can self promo there. Alright, so yeah, back to the meme that is bipartisanship. McConnell's comments come after his party is trying to wrestle back control of the chamber, which is currently a 50-50 Democratic majority to the next year's midterm election. So what they're saying is like, this is the exact same reason why these people should never be allowed nowhere near power. McConnell and Republicans are defending 20 seats while Democrats are defending 14. Yikes. Republicans will be defending 4 seats where GOP senators are retiring, and in 2 states that were carried by President Biden in 2020. I think one of them would be, Georgia, the special election in Georgia, I think, Warnock's seat. Oh god, this is so frustrating. Like, if the Democratic Party doesn't, like, make something happen, they're gonna get swept. And this is clear. This is clear. They're gonna get swept. No cap. They're gonna get swept. 100%. Because, like, imagine the disillusionment after the monumental effort it took on the ground to get both seats in Georgia, which was thought to be, which was basically not, it was thought to be against the odds, right? Maybe they could capture 1 seat. Maybe they could capture 1 seat, but both seemed incredibly unlikely, and yet it happened, right? Can you imagine like the disillusionment if after all of that efforts, the Democratic Party produced nothing? How many of those people are going to show up again? How many times are people going to buy the platitudes? How many times are the people going to buy the platitudes of the Democratic Party? I mean, like, how many How many times is it gonna work? By saying like, oh, we're just not Republicans. Well, that's not good. That's not a strategy. Okay. Yes, I understand that I would prefer, you know, I would prefer a Democratic candidate over a Republican, depending, like, usually, that's how I just kind of like swing depending on like what the policies are. But Jesus Christ, like, you need to offer something to vote for. Stop giving us like these BS, like, first of all, BS platitudes, and second of all, you keep making the scenario where we're not really voting for you. We're just voting against the more like, we're just voting against the worst candidate. That's not a winning strategy in the long term by any means. Yes, it worked in 2020, but that's not. This isn't a winning strategy. Breyer should retire to avoid a repeat of RBG not retiring. Yep. There are no vacancies on the Supreme Court, though progressives are trying to publicly pressure Justice Breyer, who's 82, to retire so Democrats can fill a seat with someone younger, while they still control the majority. If GOP can take back the Senate majority, it would have leverage on the Biden nominee for the final 2 years of his presidential term. Yeah, good luck with that. McConnell declined to say what Republicans would do if Justice stepped down in mid-2023 and Republicans controlled the Senate. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, they're gonna block it. They're gonna block everything that they can. They're gonna block everything that they can. This is the same playbook. This isn't like a mystery, right? This isn't a mystery. Mitch McConnell told us. Wait. He told us that he would be dedicated to 100% blocking Biden's agenda, no matter what that was. Like, I don't get it. Is it true that political opinions are kind of passed from parents to kids like a religion in Eastern Europe? I have zero understood. It's kind of, I've heard of "Oh, blue no matter who" or something like that. Well, that's here, where the idea is like any like, it could be a rock, but as long as it runs as a Democratic candidate, it would be better than a Republican candidate. That's the idea behind it. There is like, I mean, just like, marginally, it is true. Like, marginally, it is true. Like, the Democratic Party is like slightly better, right, in terms of like policies, but most of it is being carried by platitudes. Where are these policies? That vote blue no matter who, that is a one-trick pony. That is not a winning strategy. You need to give people something to vote for, not something to vote against. Okay? That is a one-trick pony. It's only going to work so many times before people are just so disillusioned that they'll just stay home. They'll just stay home. They may not like the Republican candidate, but they'll just stay home, and that's it. I think you lost it, you know? They'll just, this is so frustrating. And like, you know what's gonna happen. This isn't a secret. This is the same playbook that they deployed last time. Why? Hey, kinetic pause. Yeah, I believe so, but even then, like, that just kind of like guarantees that it maintains 6-3, right? That makes no, I meant political opinions in the US. I don't know. I mean, like, obviously your beliefs and the way you like view things are heavily influenced by your parents, but I'm not sure if like that always sticks. Because like this is anecdote Andy, but I'm completely I'm not like, I'm opposed. I'm completely like on the other side of the spectrum in comparison to my parents. Well, not like too much, but like I'm we disagree on a lot of stuff politically, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I think that like specifically when it comes to like politics, I feel yeah, I know. I feel but I feel like people kind of like grow into their politics as they grow up, and whatever they're exposed to, whether it be by school, friends, education, as they as they grow older, friends, education, it starts to shape like your politics at that point, right? The interwebs cannot be trusted anymore. To a degree, that's true. That's why you always double check what you see on the internet. Yeah, right. So if you see some rando on TikTok putting magnets and faking magnetism after your COVID shot, you may want to research that just a little bit, right? Just saying. I'm 100% opposite of my science-denying, Trump-loving parents who... My dad wants me to be conservative so bad it's not happening. After Byer, Thomas, Alito are the next oldest, so if the Democrats can replace Byer and maintain a White House and Senate, they can begin to swing the court back. Maybe. That's whew. I don't know. My mom has made a lot of progress in her forward thinking and rational in the last few years and has come to the left, thankfully. Yeah, so I think that, like, funny enough, I feel like my dad used to be the more chill, kind of open person. But lately, or not lately, but like in decades to come, it kind of flipped. Now my mom is a little bit more open to what I say. I'm more conservative than anything, but Trump wasn't my favorite. It turned into a circus. Well, I mean, it currently still is a circus. I don't know why you would still support that, even as you see your own people get enveloped by the craziness. I mean, it's still happening. He still has a monumental control of the party, and people have people have become basically the party. The GOP has become the party of Trump. There's no denying that. He still has a hold. I'm gonna make a confession. I aggressively shed proteins at people and try to activate their 5G receptors when in public. Nice. You're doing a public service memo. I think that everybody should have access to their 5G receptors. Even if you only have one shot of the vaccine, if you do it right, you should be able to have at least some type of reception, right? I don't know how like the 5G thing works really. Okay, so I'm kidding, of course. When the vaxxers and anti-vaxxers battle in the next Civil War, I fully expected a suit of armor to be made up of aluminum foil and tinfoil bats. Can you imagine? Anyways, TLDR, it's just another wake-up call. The Democratic Party needs to produce results unless they don't really care in doing anything. I mean, it's just another wake-up call, just another example of where this bipartisanship meme is coming from. I mean, what else do you need to understand that this person isn't going to work with you? They never intended to. Senior Department of Justice official to exit amid outcry over seizure of Democrats' records. A senior official in the National Security Division of the Department of Justice is reportedly leave his post amid an uproar over the seizure of records from top Democrats as reporters as part of an investigation into leaks of classified information during the Trump administration. According to the New York Times, one of the outlets whose reporters' records was accessed, the Department of John Demers, Assistant Attorney General of the National Security Division, had been in the works for months, but the news of its exit came amid intensified scrutiny of the department because of record seizures under the leaks investigation which started under Donald Trump. The Attorney General, Merrick Garland, was due to meet senior executives from the New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN on Monday afternoon. In a statement, Garland said, "As I stated during my confirmation hearing, Political or other improper considerations must play no role in any investigative or prosecutorial decisions. Yeah, this is kind of cringe. Using the Department of Justice to try to, like, see if you can scoop up dirt on your political opponents. I mean, this is not, like... this is not the first time. This is not the first time Donald Trump has attempted this game plan, but, modus operandi, I suppose. I just can't get behind the left as they just lie to get elected. Wait, hold on. Just look at Biden. I don't know if you can call Biden left. That seems kind of a dead meme at this point. I understand with the frustration. I think that most of us who are on the left agree with you that it's quite frustrating. Because I hope, and just like everybody here, that we want answers and serious policy to be done to help, right? So I don't know, like, Trump also thinks he's better than Reagan and Nixon. Yeah, well, I don't know I don't know who ended up making this country worse. Nixon had to resign for something like that because he would have been impeached. True. And even then, like, that seems like... That also seems like kind of like a cop-out, considering that, like, the Republican Party also lies too. So, I don't know. You just choose one liar over the other, I guess. Politicians often lie to get elected. It's unfortunate. It doesn't really have to do anything with left or right values, though. True. So then you're in our boat of knowing the Democrats are not on the left, but are on the right, just the left side of the right. It's, to a degree, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And term limits generally don't do anything. Term limits do nothing. I'm trying to think of a politician who has never lied to get elected. Not sure if there is one. True. I mean, yeah, it's politicians, I guess. And that's not like... That seems like a very cheap cop-out to not participate and, like, get behind, like, the better candidate. Did you watch Biden to press conferences on Monday and Tuesday this week? No. No, I have not. Well, actually, yeah, chat. I will give you this. I will give you this. Bernie Sanders definitely, at the very least, Bernie Sanders has been, in terms of his messaging and in terms of what he's been talking about, has been very consistent. At least, like, for a politician, incredibly consistent. As a platform, as his beliefs, as his rhetoric, and like 90%, like, I would say that he's been like exactly the same. I didn't vote for Biden. I can back a politician that can't hold a conversation, but we all know he was lying from the beginning. Not that the right is any better, but I can't get behind the left. But like, again, you're conflating somebody who isn't left-wing. Not that the right is any better. Yeah, and it's 4 years. It's just the same thing, a different face, same tactics, same lies from both sides. To a degree, yeah. But one side is clearly more damaging than the other. Right? You basically, as a, in my opinion, as a moral, like, you know, just kind of how I operate, you always have to pick what makes the most amount of good for the most amount of people when it comes to politics, because politics isn't just about you. It's about, you know, all of us, because everything that we do is affecting everybody. The federal government affects everybody. So, yeah, you try to pick who does the most amount of good for the most amount of people. If it's just a tiny bit better than the other guy, then you choose that. You do have no, like, the reason why democracy works is because people participate. And, like, your job, like, ideally, what you would try to do is try to pick the person that will do the most amount of good for the most amount of people. Yeah, exactly, Sourcing. You don't have to get behind somebody to make a binary choice. 30 minutes long, Biden talked about climate change. Oh, okay. I mean, talking and doing is two different things, but hey, if the rhetoric is shifting at that may be positive. Do you have you have a little diamond on you, Alio? By any chance, do you have that link? We can check that out tomorrow, actually. Yeah, a lot of issues is that people often conflate left and right as being the same thing as Republican and Democrat. Right, exactly. These are two political parties, not political ideologies, right? Because there are Democratic politicians who are left-wing, but not all Democratic politicians are left-wing. So, okay, so it's like this. What little handful of left-wing politicians are all in the Democratic Party, that does not mean all Democrats are left-wing. YouTube has a White House channel. I showed it on my stream. Okay, hold on. Biden. Alright. Biden speech? No, White House. You said it was the White House channel. Infrastructure road trip, 43 seconds. Oh, I see. There's a two-part... Okay. There's a two-part press conference. Okay. I think we're gonna have to watch that one tomorrow because it's very, It's very long. Folks on these, friend do not seem by these eye holes, so then, yeah, I mean, but it's weird that more and more, just like, I hold just like other radical parties. I personally think it was disgusting. However, I think it will happen again. There'll be an uprising because the constant lies from the government. I mean, like, I don't know, but I think that you should also take into consideration the fact that, like, is it really divergent from like the normative narratives that keep being espoused even by the more like mainstream Republican candidates? Is it being universally like condemned, or is it being like consistently downplayed by Republican leadership? Well, not leadership, but like Republican representatives. And if they really cared, don't you think that they should have taken action? Doesn't that also kind of make you think about like what levels of inaction can lead to roundabout complicity? Just things to think about, right? I don't know if it's like as Memo, I don't know if it's like as hard as just simply R equals white nationalist, but I don't think we should just do like a complete hard stop like that. I don't think R equals necessarily like white nationalist. No. You're trying to be the conservative of the conscious? Yeah, so my point being is I want you to have I want you to rhetorically ask yourself these questions, right? It's mind-boggling when I see conservatives accuse people like Cory Booker and Biden, who the left also dislikes, and then you find out that they support guys like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham. True. Yeah. And my point is, like, if you don't like where the Republican Party is heading, because there's undeniably, like, problematic elements that are becoming mainstream. I mean, like, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is a darling in the Republican Party. Donald Trump is the Republican Party. I mean, maybe consider, you know, consider that as it becomes more and more mainstream. It's not so fringe anymore, is it? Trump's still talking the same stuff. Yeah, the false stolen election, perfect. Yeah, I know. I know, Alio. That's his same Song and dance, right? There's a difference between implicit and explicit. You can argue that Nixon and Reagan were explicitly racist. Yes, but I'm not sure I can apply that to the Bushes. True. Yep. That's fine. I mean, like, you can unironically look at, like, policies that the policies that Nixon, oh my god, and Reagan proposed. I mean, it is undeniable. Things like this just to kind of pick your brain and just make you consider, right? Just consider this stuff that we're talking about. Great Equalizer. I mean, you're here, are you not? You're here, are you not? There are important questions that must be resolved in connection with an effort to department to obtain records related to members of Congress and congressional staff. I have accordingly dictated that the matter be referred to the Inspector General and have full confidence that he will conduct a thorough and independent investigation. If at any time the investigation proceeds, actions related to the matter in question is warranted, I will not hesitate to move swiftly. So TLDR of this article is, apparently, the Trump Department of Justice was looking, I guess you could say was looking for things on, some Democratic, Congressman Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, and, reporters, I believe. They hit you with speech like, I'm tired of Biden's corruption, Booker, and we want the channel. Like, yeah, we do too. And then they finish it with, like, we gotta get my boy Ted Cruz in the White House. Drew, I am here, but that doesn't mean I fully side with what you say. No, I'm saying that you're here. It doesn't matter if you fully side with me or not, but you're here. That means you may be open to listening to what I have to say, which is more than I can ask for. You know, you may be open to listening to what I have to say, which is, hey, I am completely fine with that. Even if we never agree on things. Even if we never agree on things, you're indicating to me that maybe, you may be open to listening to what I have to say. I only say that because I do not believe the vast majority of Republicans are even a little bit conscious of the implications of the policies their leaders push forward. I'm not sure how much intent matters in examining outcomes, but it's something that we should consider when it comes to rhetoric. True. Why would anyone be against healthcare for all? No clue. But the struggle continues. Spread it forward. The struggle continues. I agree with you, sourcing. So yeah, TLDR, yet again, reason number 255,389.235 as to why, this person should never be anywhere near power, Donald Trump. We also have different opinions on free on the left or right. Yeah, like, okay, so I should always clarify. Free does not equal free, that it just pops out of air. It just means reorganizing our priorities for us. That's it. I'd like to hear your takes on why things should change and how you think we should go about it. True. I mean, there you go. That's, I may never change your mind, but at least you are here. So yeah, TLDR, this is yet another reason why this guy should not even be near allowed in power as, I mean, like, if there was a reason, if there was like a reason why you need to investigate, if there's a reason why you need to investigate Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell, that's different, but like, it seems like hey, remember when there was like a big claim by Donald Trump, I'm sure he still talks about this, about how he keeps getting spied on, Spygate, just perpetuated by, oh god, what are these clowns? The Epoch Times, about Spygate. Huh. It turns out they were the ones doing it, too. It feels like it feels like every time they make some massive claim about something, it's usually them the one doing it. Ooh, hard doubts, hard disagree. Wait, do you not think that, like, adding jobs via infrastructure programs and expanding, like, healthcare wouldn't add jobs? That doesn't make any sense. Like, that actually just logically makes no sense. Left and right have problems with people who do not take the time to critically examine their beliefs. The issue, as I see it, is that the right values perpetuates the issue. People do not have the time and energy to pursue intellectual endeavors because they're too busy running the hamster wheel of capitalism. I mean, yeah, it turns out that it's very hard to kind of get involved or, like, critically sit down and think if you're just too busy trying to, like, make ends meet with your second or third job. Why does the US need a military budget larger than next 10 countries combined? Do they have that many enemies? No. No, it's a reorganization of our priorities. And I think that, like, the concern about jobs is just logically unfounded. It's just logically unfounded. There'll be jobs added when you expand universal healthcare. There's ways of doing this. Alright, this is an interesting video. Let's see.
Right wing has been sowing discord among the left in an effort to essentially give the Republican Party an edge in elections. This is an incredible story from The Guardian that relied on a former Facebook employee who
yeah, I mean, this is a tale as old as time. People infiltrating each other's groups is a strategy as old as time.
Turned to becoming a whistleblower about the company's practices, and they found some pretty incredible details about just how easy it is for a right-wing marketing firm to post accounts that appear to be leftist when in reality you have right-wingers running it. So in the apparent attempt to split the Democratic vote in a number of close races, the ads that this marketing firm was putting out purported to come from an organization called America Progress Now, or APN, and use socialist memes and rhetoric to urge left-wing voters to support Green Party candidates. So obviously voting for a third party in this two-party system puts at least one of the parties in jeopardy of losing, right? It'll split the vote, and that's what the strategy was here. On October 27th of 2018, just days before the November 6th election, America Progress Now began running a series of ads that used leftist motifs, such as the red rose emoji and images of Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to rail against the corporate two-party oligarchy and the corporate capitalist wage system. Some of the ads urged voters to choose a third party, but others endorsed Green Party candidates by name, triggering FEC rules for independent expenditures. And we'll get to that in just a second, because this activity, this behavior goes against FEC rules, but it really does seem as though laws are really enforced against people who have the audacity to vape in a non-vaping section of Maryland. But anyway, so I also wanted to give you an example of what these memes look like, because if you're...
Wait, before you scroll away, you need to hear this. Republicans across the country are moving fast to enact massive voter suppression laws and bring about Jim Crow 2.0.
You know, just an unsuspecting person, you would see that and think, yeah, these ads are totally put out by a progressive organization. They use pictures of AOC, they criticize capitalism, clearly seem to favor democratic socialism. But the whole point is to pose as leftists and then encourage people to vote for a third party, because the Democratic Party is worthless. There's no way that they're gonna ever accomplish progressive goals. Now we know that
Yep, that's right, KTS. There's multiple studies and models on how universal healthcare could work on America. One of the most referred to is created by a libertarian think tank that concedes the country would actually save money by implementing it. When people say stuff like, I've seen no plans on how it work, they're basically just saying, I don't like those plans. Yeah, like, I mean, it's true. I have yet to see any good arguments as to why we shouldn't have a universal healthcare model. The Dem Party may or may not be worthless, but the idea that any other party is better is completely incoherent. Well, the idea would be
of a Green Party.
The point being is that there's no the system as it currently exists, and I know people are the people don't like it. I don't like it. But this is the current system, and if we want to change it, we have to use the tools that we have within it to do so. Otherwise, how are we supposed to make any headway? By consistently losing? I don't know. And to Sourcing's comment, it's like it's always a choice. It's always a choice between the quote-unquote lesser of two evils. It always is. If Bernie Sanders was to face Donald Trump, would that not be the choice? Would picking Bernie Sanders not choose? Wouldn't that be choosing the lesser of evils as well as a choice? It would be, is it not? Bernie Sanders would be, whether you think objectively better or meaning would you think would be like massively better or only slightly better, it's irrelevant. My point being is choosing, like, for example, if it was a Bernie Sanders versus Trump, it would still be better. It would still be choosing the lesser of two evils, is it not? You're still trying to do the most amount of good for the most amount of people. That's always the game. That's always the name of the game. Until we can get referendums, ballot measures, constitutional, like state constitutional amendments to allow ranked choice voting, where all of a sudden maybe a third party comes into play, then we can start talking about third parties. But if we don't have that, the third parties aren't viable at this point in the system. We have to do what we can within the tools that we have. I mean, this has always been my my position as someone who, I mean, like, I wish there was a multi-party system. I want to move in the direction of a parliamentary system if possible. But the only way third parties become viable is by making ranked choice voting a thing. If you can get another party going, you could use that same energy to change the DNC. A few center-left people, Justice Dems, did more work in 18 months to shift the DNC to the left than the Green Party has done in 30 years. Yeah, it's just like, in this type of situation, third parties aren't viable. They're just not viable like, there's just no way. The only way that happens is ranked choice voting. I mean, that's it. That's the ticket. Ranked choice voting may give an opportunity. If you want that to happen and you want to make it a more democratic system, pay attention. Pay attention to local state politics. I mean, that's how it works. They're the ones that rule. They're the ones that make the rules for elections anyways. Yeah, the two other parties are Green and Libertarian, but don't even get 5% on any ballot. Yeah, I mean, there's actually a bunch of parties. But out of all of those, like, parties, the bigger ones out of those are the Green and Libertarian parties. But the point being is, under this, I don't see a third party being viable, and I just don't see the avenue where you can make any impact by just consistently losing, right? Unless we get ranked choice voting, I don't see any path to viability for a third party.
Or a third party in general, winning is nearly impossible. I mean, just impossible. It's never happened. It likely won't ever happen unless we literally change our system of government.
Now, hold on. That's not true. There have been like one or two times where that's happened. I believe Teddy Roosevelt was a third party. Massachusetts voted to defeat ranked choice voting, saying it will dilute the vote. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's if it'll dilute the vote. Teddy lost as a bull moose. Oh, he lost. Then how did he get elected? Oh, that's how Wilson got in. Gotcha. He wasn't? Oh, historically, third parties have supplanted one of the established parties in order to last more than one cycle. He was appointed vice then? Oh, okay. Got you. Okay, thanks for the correction. Hold on. Fake news, everybody. Retraction. Got you. So, Teddy Roosevelt was a vice president. Got you.
Government. But Cenk, why don't you jump in and I'll give you some more details later.
Yeah, so let's talk about nuances as usual here. So are there actual people who believe in the Green Party? Of course, and that's why they're using this tactic to take advantage, because it's so hard to tell who's being genuine and who isn't. And by the way, the other thing that it does is it tricks the people on the left into thinking, oh, these are people who have a good intention. Oh, they say that Trump might even be better than the Democrats on the issues of war or corruption, etc. When Trump ain't better than them at all.
I've heard that talking point before. But, oh boy. That's kind of yikesy. Okay, so it seems like to me, like, the TLDR of this is like, yeah, it's quite possible and clearly evidenced that there are like troll farm operations going on, and we need to be objective about the stuff that we read online, and we need to be as we need to have as much common sense as possible when it comes to like just evaluating information online. I mean, even me, I get things wrong all the time. Okay, I have to do retractions all the time, just like I did now. So you have to pay attention to what you read online, and like don't take everything that you see as gospel, even if it does come from a more left-leaning quote unquote source, right? It's just like, in order for us to be able to like make headway too, I mean, like, information is everything, and we got to make sure that we're accurate. And try to like be as responsible as possible, yeah? And every time we find these type of quote-unquote troll farms, expose them. Every time we find these quote-unquote troll farms, expose them. Facebook was aware of the true identity of the advertiser, the conservative marketing firm Rally Forge, and the deceptive nature of the ads. Documents seen by The Guardian showed, but the company determined that they did not violate its policies. Nice. Rally Forge would go on to set up a pro-Trump domestic troll farm for Turning Point Action, a sister organization of Turning Point USA, in 2020, earning a permanent ban from Facebook. So weird. How does that even work? So you're allowed to make like large like AstroTurf like advertising that are deceptive, okie dokie, but I don't know, then ban for something else? I don't know. Seems like these policies are applied inconsistently. Yeah, here's some of the examples. America Progress Now. I think I've seen this before, actually. Now that I'm like looking at this, I think I've seen this before. The revelation that ads were linked to right-wing organizations raises question about the Federal Election Commission's enforcement of campaign finance laws. That's another good point. That's another good point. Like, how are we... God, this is why, like, allowing companies such as get so big, such as Facebook and Twitter, the fact that they have like so much too much power to dictate political, like the political landscape is kind of cringe. As a revelation, the ads were linked to right-wing organizations raises questions about the Federal Election Commission enforcement of campaign finance laws. The APN and its ads appeared to violate federal laws that require independent expenditures to be filed with the FEC and include proper disclosure on advertisements, as ProPublica and Vice News first reported in 2018. The nonpartisan campaign finance watchdog group Campaign Legal Center filed a complaint against APN and subsequently sued the agency in an attempt to force it to investigate the group. But in July of 2020, the FEC voted to dismiss allegations, that American Progress Now had violated federal laws after an individual, Ivan Mulstein, took responsibility for the ads and attributed the lack of proper disclosures and filings to his inexperience. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, officer. I didn't mean to break X law. I'm just inexperienced. I mean, what? It is illegal to knowingly make false or fraudulent statements to federal agencies, and the FEC appears to have taken Mulstein's at his word that the ads were sincere but novice attempt to support Green Party candidates. Oh, come on. I mean, okay, sure. Nice meme. The former FEC Commissioner Anne Revelle, who reviewed the case at the request of the Guardian, said that she was still on the FEC and she would now refer the stunning case to the Justice Department for investigation. Yeah, TLDR, troll farms exist. We should try to be as wary as possible, and just try to be as objective when evaluating information presented in front of you. It's not easy to suss them out, though. There's a lot of people on Twitch and Twitter that crap on other lefties 24/7, and you can assume they're the most lefty holy saints on the planet, but all their actions and words match right-wingers. Yeah, I mean, sure, there's definitely people like that. I mean, I don't know. It's the internet, folks. It's the internet. What else I can say? Be wary of troll farms.
Right? That doesn't make the corporate Democrats any good either. And so it's easy for a lot of the camps to fall into two different absolutist positions here, where corporate media might look at this and go, that's it, dismiss anyone who's Green Party. No, that's ridiculous. And then some of these troll farms will get you to believe, oh yeah, if you don't agree with this position, then you're not a good enough progressive.
Right, there's a lot of that on Facebook and Twitter. There's no question.
And again, guys, some of the people saying that are actual leftists, and that's okay. That's their genuine position. And some of them are trolls.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to determine that? You just kind of take a look at what you see and just try to evaluate it as objective as possible. Is there logic behind this position? How is this position going? What are the ramifications of taking this position be? Think about it. Think about it. What are the what are the consequences of taking this position, right?
And you will hear, I guarantee you, even in response to this video, people saying, no, there are no trolls. This is a piece by The Guardian. They're not a conservative publication. This is a study that was done. They uncovered it. There's FEC filings. The guy apologized for not saying the correct information in the FEC filings. There's no question that it is true, right? And yes, they use tactics meant to deceive you. The two things that they constantly talked about was the corporate two-party oligarchy and corporate capitalist wage system. Now, if you're a progressive, those sound pretty good. They sound like, oh, that's true. That's why they're using it. And they know that it's a way to lure you in so you don't vote against Trump. Okay, that was literally the purpose of this activity. It's led by Charlie Kirk's group.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, true. So the TLDR, just evaluate the consequences of positions being presented to you wherever they come from. and evaluate what exactly is the consequences. Like, what does it mean to like just vote third party? What does it mean to take the position of Medicare for all? What does it mean to take the position of I don't know, housing for all? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are these consequences? How is this going to benefit us? How's this going to affect us? All of these things should be taken into consideration, right? That's why we have studies, and that's why we have like I would hope critical thinking as to why like we support some of these things, right? There's a reason. I hope and I think that not just because it's the right thing to do, but there's like so much, like there's a reason why it is good. Just to give you an example, like a Great Equalizer was saying, there's a reason why having a universal healthcare system is good, right? It's not just because like it's a position to take. There's a reason and a logic and studies behind that position. So when you hear people saying like, well, screw the Democratic Party, okay, sure, fine. But does the logic follow to support a third party who isn't viable? I mean, like, then you're just losing for losing's sake. Like, it's better to have an opportunity to have a seat at the table rather than just consistently losing and ceding that to the right. I don't know. It seems kind of silly. It's also kind of like the problems I have with taking like a 100% anti-electoralism stance, right? Like, what is the point of participating? Blah, blah, blah. It's all useless. No. Well, no, it's a tool. I'm not saying that that's all you need to do, but it is a tool, is it not? Why are you ceding that? Why are you ceding that to the GOP? So, again, just evaluate each position presented to you using critical thinking. Read FBI warnings to lawmakers that QAnon conspiracy theories may become more violent. Wow, surprise, surprise. Speaking of critical thinking, the FBI has warned lawmakers that online Q conspiracy theories may carry out more acts of violence as they move from serving as digital soldiers to taking actions in the real world following the January 6 attack. The shift is fueled by a belief among some conspiracy's more militant followers that they can no longer quote-unquote trust the plan. Oh boy, we're getting into some heavy stuff. Set forth by its mysterious standard bearer known as Q. According to unclassified FBI threat assessments on QAnon sent to lawmakers last week, which was obtained by CNN. Yeah. You don't need to take my word for it. You can read this. You can read this here. You can also join the Discord and check out the articles there. QAnon is real. I have been working with them, so yes, it's real. This is a supporter, right? I mean, listen, I gotta hand it to one of our Discord folks and one of our moderators, Mono. He was right. They were right. The reality is this is a problem. This is dangerous. This is no longer a meme. It never has been, but my point being is that this is becoming dangerous, and it's, spewing out into the real world, including in January 6th, right? The outlook, we assess that some DVE adherents of QAnon will likely to believe that they can no longer trust a plan referencing Q posts and have an obligation to change from serving as digital soldiers towards engaging in real-world violence, including harming perceived members of the cabal, such as Democrats and other political oppositions, instead of continuously awaiting Q's promised actions which have not occurred. Other QAnon adherents will likely disengage from the movement or reduce their involvement in the wake of the administration change. This disengagement may be spurred by large mainstream social media deplatforming of QAnon content based on social media companies' own determinations that users have violated terms of service and the failure of long-promised QAnon-linked events to materialize. Some DVEs have discussed how to radicalize new users to niche social media platforms following QAnon adherents' migration to these platforms. After following QAnon adherents' migration to these platforms after large-scale removal from mainstream sites, adherents to Q anon by some DVEs likely will be affected by factors such as severity of the COVID pandemic, level of societal polarization in the US, social media companies' willingness to host Q-related content, and the frequency and content of pro-Q statements in public. Individuals who feature prominently in core Q anon narratives. Looking at you, Mr. Lindell, what's her name? Release the Kraken, Sidney Powell, even including Donald Trump sometimes, Boebert, Green, just saying. And again, this is for Great Equalizer. As this becomes more and more the Republican Party, I urge you to, evaluate these objectively. So the TLDR is that this is still a very real and a very prominent threat per the FBI. We know that there's a new conspiracy theory that somehow, I don't know if this was perpetuated or, not perpetuated, but brought forth by Donald Trump or someone near his circle, that he's going to be reinstated in August, 2 months from now. So, I can't wait to see what happens then. But there's a reason why the FBI is putting this briefing out there, okay? The reality is this is still an issue. It's a problem. And in these cases where there's extreme, domestic terrorists who are threatening violence, this is why deplatforming is important for these kind of people. Alright, folks, we did it. We did it. Let me see if we got anything else. Just to keep a couple minutes. Huh. Okay. I don't know much about the post-millennial, but, huh. That's disturbing. Is this gonna be one of those, accidentally... one of these, suicides where this person was shot twice in the head? He suicided with 2 bullets in his head? Is that what it is? The sign revealed a meeting between Lynch and Clinton, which occurred in the use of unauthorized email servers. Well, According to the Washington Examiner. The meetings came just before the FBI Director Comey announced that he would not recommend charges for the emails but called Clinton's handling of classified information. So... I'm not sure, what the narrative is supposed to say. Wait. Is the narrative supposed to say, there's something fishy going on here? I mean... Yeah, this also happened under the Trump administration. I don't know if they're trying to make this as, I don't know if, the narrative here is to make it out as... And to make a connection between this person's apparent suicide and more Clinton's emails? I don't know. Either way, disturbing. Regardless of what the regardless of what this article is trying to tell us, disturbing. Disturbing and very sad. I remember a mob movie where the guy said a witness in this case was so depressed that he stabbed himself in the back 16 times and decided to throw himself off a bridge. Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Despite Clinton lynching, it was not discussed during the investigation, during the conversation. Signs so there's more to the story, writing about the meeting in his book Secret on the Tarmac, released in 2020. I mean, it just seems like, I don't know. It's quite possible this person was suffering. This is so sad. Regardless, I don't know like the framing of the entire article, but regardless, this is very sad. I don't know exactly. Is the post? What is the post millennial? I haven't seen that one in a while. All right, folks. It is 11:23. It's close to that time. I do appreciate everybody hanging out. You guys are what makes this channel grow. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you go and do the YouTubes. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. Join our Discord to keep up with the channel. You get channel updates and alerts. There's also cool little stuff. Here's a story that should be getting more attention. Cheaper batteries unveiled as a step to corporate-free grid. Oh, it's behind a paywall. Hold on. Let's see if we can. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Yeah, we'll take a look at it tomorrow. Actually, let me save that link. Yeah, I'm just gonna save the link so we can go over it tomorrow. Thanks for the stream, news, and combo, and all of that. Thank you so much, Memmius. I appreciate you hanging out with us. I appreciate everybody. Have a good day. You have a good day. Alio, make sure you all follow some of these wonderful folks. Heat420_, Alio Share, Surfer Go Gritty, Sourcing Support. There's awesome people here. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys. Once again, if you do the if you enjoy the content, make sure you spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, doing the news and politics as always. Yes, put the link in the Discord. News and politics in the AM. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are what makes the show grow. Hang tight with us. We're gonna see. I haven't rated Ben in a while. Yes, okay, so let's go into Ben's channel. Thank you guys as always. Please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya! Alright, stay with us, folks. Alright, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.